Drawing animals. So this just shows how to do some step-by-step drawing of a dog. And it shows starting out with simple polygons. Here we got a simple polygon and then a triangle, and then cutting into the dog's snout there. And then how to add some details like, the eye shape and then the curve of the mouth. So you're just kind of, and then drawing the shape of the nose and some ear shapes in here. And then finally, like cleaning it up, adding a few spots and erasing out your simplified forms, and you're drawing a little fur on the neck and some ear details. The next image shows how to do this with a horse, starting off with real simplified forms: a triangle, a circle, rectangle, and an arc here, and adding a little mane, a little ear, getting the eye detail, and it kind of talks about what the eye looks like, cutting off the corners of the nose here, and a little bit of the nostril, mouth, and curve in the line of the neck, and then erase out your lines that you don't want. So this is step-by-step making a horse body, and you can see there's just kind of like some straight lines and some ovals. Then you add more straight lines and then straight lines for the legs. And this is kind of important. I'll wait till this thing hides. Okay, so the front legs look very different from the back legs, and I'm going to include on Canvas, there's some images from a book by Jack Ham on how to draw animals, on the difference between the front and back legs. But I want you to notice how the front legs kind of go straight down, and the back legs bend kind of near the middle here at this point. And also the wrist, this is considered the elbow here, and the wrist is actually by the hoof. So also we see here simplified forms being used: the triangle, the circle, the square, and just circles kind of being used on the feet, on the knees. I'm going to stop moving so it goes away. And the hooves being used, just triangles for the back hooves, kind of a triangle forms for the front hooves. Very simple. And then it's fleshed out a little bit more by connecting some of the forms. You can see there's a curve for the throat, an arch for the neck, inverted triangle for the thigh, back thigh area. The legs are no longer just sticks with circles. They actually have rectangles on them, but still very simple straight lines and some simple arcs. And then it just shows finishing this up a little bit, adding a mouth, nostril, mane, and tail, finishing the hooves off by drawing a line to cut up the back corner of the triangle there, and just kind of forming the hooves a little more. And then you can erase out all the stuff you don't need, and you have a horse. So I know that was kind of some simple step-by-step stuff, and if you don't have someone to guide you in those steps, it can be kind of hard to see those basic forms at first, how to see when you're looking at an animal like this, where those forms are. So, I recommend looking for where things can be simplified, looking for where you can see a circle, looking for where you could see a rectangle. It may not be an exact rectangle, looking for a place that you can find a triangle, looking for a place you can draw an oval and another oval. You can see in the joints, looking for a place where you could draw a circle. Fur is quite difficult to draw at first, but if you practice, it actually is pretty enjoyable and not as difficult. This shows how one hair can then become strands and then coats. A coat. So I wanted you to look at the arcing in the strand area of these hairs, because fur moves around the animal's muscles and bones. It moves around the form of the animal. And that's something to be aware of. It moves in a direction. This fur is going down, this one's going up and over. So you want to pay attention to the direction. And this shows layering. And you layer one layer here, and then there's a layer underneath. Here's an excellent example of fur, and great use of white paper, of the white of the paper, or you can erase out those lines. I actually used an electric eraser in a lot of my fur drawings and erase out a lot of the lines. I'll be doing a fur demo for you, and I can show you how that's done. So another use of of the white of the paper, great use of the white of the paper, and both of these animal drawings by Mike Sibley. Beautiful drawings showing a lot of white space, probably left empty, I'm assuming. And these are some animal drawings that when I was a teacher at Otis College of Art and Design, I was walking down the hall, and I was teaching portfolio development, not drawing, and I found these drawings from a student, and I just thought they were remarkable, so I took some photos of them. You can see the incredible use of the fur here, and the lines being drawn downward to create the fur in varying values, and I just thought it was really nice, good use of value. And then these, you can see the use of construction lines in the feet, very, very important, these construction lines to line up the feet. Excellent use of some basic simplified forms in here. You'll see some more here, construction lines. This is a skeleton drawing, and I wrote down here that the Natural History Museum has, in LA, has great animal skeletons and stuffed animals that you can draw from. I highly recommend that you check it out once they're open, and the animals don't move, and you learn a lot about skeletons there. But anyway, you can see the use of a polygon bounding box here, and then the use of the construction line here, and the use of simplified form right in here, and all throughout very light simplified forms to start, and then it's developed darker as the artist moved along. Some more skeletons of animals, also showing excellent use of construction lines. Here we have an arc being used instead of a polygon to figure out this shape. More drawings using simplified forms. I thought this was a nice big simplified egg form in this elephant. Use of construction lines in the feet. This has a lot of simplified forms being used throughout the arms and the body. And I think what's really nice about the one on the bottom is that it's light in the back, and then it gets darker as it comes forward in space. And very nice, interesting sketch. And this is my final sketch by this artist. I thought this was an excellent approach to just drawing some fur. You don't have to draw all the fur in an animal. It's a great use of white space. You can just draw a little bit of fur to indicate the fur, as this artist has done here. And then some hatching you can see on the legs, which is very effective. Look how nice the little fur is back up here. Little patches, just to give the ideas of the spots on the hyena. Very cleverly done. Simple. Here's just some gesture drawings. You're going to be doing some 1-minute gestures. And this is from the Moorpark College Zoo, where unfortunately we can't do this semester, but hopefully it'll be open in the future, and it's free to students. So if you're a student in the future and you have your ID, then you can go. Maybe they'll open up, I don't know, but if they're open, you should definitely go. When they're open, you should go. So these are 1-minute monkeys. You can see 1 minute is not very long to do a gesture, and mostly I'm starting with this kind of like circular shape and very simple forms in here. See the simple forms, the shape and the head. And these are some 5-minute drawings, which got a little more developed, of some birds at the zoo. And you can see a little bit more development in the head and stuff. And then this is like these monkeys that they have at the zoo. These are really awesome monkeys. This is actually, it says a 3-minute, I know we've done 5 here, but this says 3-minute monkey head, 20-minute head, and a 30-minute head. And as these monkeys move very fast and they kind of flip their heads and whole bodies around, I had 3 different views kind of going. So I do this one, and then I have these 2 views going at the same time. This is kind of a clever way to draw an animal, is you could have different views, particularly if the animal is often in profile but changing their view, like an animal that paces, for example. Here's another drawing I made at the Moorpark Zoo, 20-minute lion drawing. You can see that I was able to get a little bit of development of fur in the ear, but it started with a very basic triangle here and some basic curves, and even the paw here was a basic shape that I then developed. Here's a wolf that's was at the Moorpark College Zoo, and I developed this a little bit more with some shading. This wolf paced, by the way, back and forth, and I just would wait for it to come back into position. And that's another one of these monkeys, the capuchin monkey, tufted capuchin, it says. And this is a 60-minute animal drawing. It's quite long. It took me a while to really get this animal. I don't know if it really took quite that long, but it kept walking back and forth. So you can see the fur development. And then here's another 60-minute lion drawing, also at the Moorpark College Zoo. And you can see that I've done some blending here in a lot of areas. And note the front leg versus the back leg in a four-legged animal. So you're going to be looking more at that in some of the examples I give you, but note the position here of the elbow versus down here. This is actually the animal is like standing on tippy toes. This is the entire foot, and actually the elbow is somewhere up here. So this is the entire foot of the animal, and the entire foot is down here. So there's a very different position with the elbow here versus up here. And that's the last slide that I have.